Whenever my husband and I go on a trip, we notice the signs on the road. And the signs are there for a very important reason because it lets you know what's up ahead. Because sometimes those curves and those turns, you might not know what's up ahead. And so signs are very important. And that's the same way it is in a relationship, in a co parenting relationship. It's good to notice the signs because it lets you know what's up ahead and what you're going to be faced with. And so today in this video, we're going to look at toxic behaviors and notice if your co-parent has toxic behaviors. And if they do, now you know what's ahead and what you need to do. So yeah, one of the reasons that it's so hard to recognize if your ex-partner has toxic behaviors is because you didn't see him when you were dating. You didn't see him when you were together, whether you were married or you were living together, you didn't see those behaviors. But you probably saw them and probably just explained them away. That person probably was controlling in the relationship, but you thought it was a good thing. You thought it was a good thing that they wanted to make sure that you wore certain types of clothing and that you looked a certain way and that you cooked a certain meal. You thought it was wonderful that they were always in your conversations. When you got off the phone, who were you talking to? What were you talking about? Oh, that person, they just concerned about me. And so you just explained it away. But when you and that person separated and now you have a child, now you're noticing those behaviors and they're not so wonderful anymore. And so now you go away wondering, they can't be toxic because I had a child by them. You're wondering, how could this be because I didn't notice these behaviors before? And so we're just going to jump right in and look at some of those behaviors. And one of the first ones is the refusal to communicate or even the refusal to cooperate. Now, all of a sudden, you and that person are not together and they don't want to cooperate. There may be a parenting plan in place. You may have sat down and written down everything that you're going to do as far as the holidays and the vacations and the medical plans and the schooling, and they don't want to follow it. They don't want to follow it, and they make it all about them. Well, I don't think we should do this, and I don't think we should do this, and I'm not going to do that. And so it starts to become more about them than about that child, about your child. And even sometimes they make themselves unavailable. Well, I can't go to parent teacher conference because I have something else I'm doing. Or I can't go to the sports because I'm doing something else. And so all of a sudden, you realize that it's not about the child that both of you had together, but it's more about them. And so that's one way to notice that toxic behaviors is because it's not about the child, it's refusal to compromise or even make any decisions that's concerning the child. You find yourself calling them over and over, trying to get an answer. Well, I just don't know. I have to get back to you on that. And of course, they don't get back to you on that. And so you find yourself getting frustrated because they're not cooperating and they're not trying to make any decisions that is beneficial towards your child. Another way that they may be toxic is they are not respecting boundaries. You've told them over and over. They want to continue to call, continue to text, and they want you to call and text them right away. And if you don't, they get upset, they get angry because once again, they're the most important person. It's not about the child. It's not about even that you could have been doing something. If you don't call, they will start accusing you of, not being a good parent and not wanting to respond to them. So they refuse to allow you to make decisions about the child's well-being. It's not about the child's well-being. It's all about them. They don't respect your boundaries. They may just pop up at your house, pop up at your job. You in the grocery store, all of a sudden they're there too. They're not respecting any boundaries because they feel because you have a child, I can still control where you're at and control what you do. I can just pop up and just be there. And that leads us into the controlling and manipulative behaviors. This is one that I'm very familiar with. In my co parenting relationship, a lot of manipulation. Because I'm a Christian, a lot of times the Bible would be used as, well, you should be praying for me. Well, you shouldn't be doing that because as a Christian, that's not something you should do. Person wanted to continue their behavior, not change their behavior, but want you just to sit and just pray for them. And we'll see that a lot of times in different cultures, you'll see that manipulative behavior. Well, you shouldn't say anything. If you say anything, then I'm not going to come around. Then that must mean you don't want me around. If you ask me for money, then that must mean that I can't help you pay for certain things for the child because you're taking me for child support. That little manipulative behavior. So you may see that, and that's toxic. The manipulative behavior is wanting to use the parent, I'm sorry, use the child to get what they want. Well, if your mom or your dad don't talk to me, then I'm not going to come and spend time with you. If they take me to court, I'm not going to pick you up and take you anywhere. So using manipulative behavior, again, not caring about the well-being and the welfare of the child, but it's all about them. Another toxic behavior is the blaming and shaming. Maybe blaming you for the situation, blaming you for issues. Well, if it wasn't from your mom or wasn't for your dad, we wouldn't be in this situation. If they were here, we wouldn't be suffering like this. We would have money. You would have clothes. I could buy a car for you. I could buy a phone for you. Blaming the other person for all of the issues and the problem, and then trying to shame them. And this goes into the physical and the verbal abuse, even the gaslighting. Well, you know what? That really goes with the manipulation, the gaslighting. Well, you know what? Are you sure that's what you want to do? Are you sure you want to take me for child support? Are you sure you want to put them on the health plan? The manipulation, using manipulation. And again, the blaming and shaming, trying to shame a person for not having something. Well, you can't buy them that. You don't have the money. Why are you asking me for me? You should have the money. That trying to shame you into the situation. Another toxic behavior is alienating the child, bad mouthing the other parent, or trying to make the child choose between one or the other parent. Well, which one do you like better? Me or your mom? Me or your dad? Not allowing them to spend time with the other one. So all of those are behaviors, and there's many more. So if you've been dealing with a toxic parent, write it down below. Let me know some of the behaviors that you've dealt with. And so I just wanted to kind of talk about these different behaviors because I'm sure you, like me, sometimes when things come up, you're wondering, you're questioning yourself, is like, is it me? Am I seeing this situation right? Am I seeing it? What's going on? You could be dealing with a toxic co-parent. And here's another video that's going to give you some insight on how to co-parent effectively with your child.